So, what was it like growing up being deaf and having to, okay.
You want him to write? Okay. Her mother taught her how to sign and how to spell her name. And your address? When you were about 3? She was worried she would get lost. So she had her, oh, that's a very good idea. That's a good idea. When you were 5 years old, she didn't think that she got to St. Rita's at School for the Deaf. She could spell her name when she got there. None of the other children could do it, and they thought she didn't think anything of it because her mommy taught her how to do it, but they were very impressed when she got to school. Okay. She didn't realize that she was learning something that was really special. Okay. How old were you when you went to school? St. Rita's. She was 5 years old. Tom was 7, 2 years older. He was 2 years older.
Yeah, you had mentioned that they didn't teach her sign language in the school that she went to. So were there any sort of
You learned it outside from the other students? Not in class, but outside of school, from the students. Other children in class. No signing. You had to learn the lips. Yes. And that's stupid.
Okay. So did they, a big part of the class that I'm in is about learning how to make accommodations for people who have different needs. So did the school that she went to have any sort of accommodations?
She didn't think much of it. It was just, she learned from the sisters how to write on a board. On the board she wrote on the how to spell. The sisters knew you were learning how to spell on the outside between the children. The children were teaching each other and making up signs for different things.
Okay.
And the nuns knew it, but they didn't say anything because they were supposed to teach them just how to lip read.
Okay.
Now they've changed everything. Now they do signing, and it's much better.
Okay.
Yes. I agree with that.
So
she was born early.
Was that not teaching sign, was that like a national thing, or was that just something the sisters did? Like, were there other schools that would teach sign?
Other schools. They were all the same. No signing. Wow, really? But they were both taught by Sisters of St. Joseph. What about when you went up to Detroit School for the Deaf? Did they sing, or did they do? It was lip reading too.
Wow.
So you didn't really learn signing until you got to high school. through your friends, yes. But in school, did you learn in high school? Did they use signing in high school? They did, but they didn't use it in grade school. No,
Okay.
everything was lip reading in school, but on the playground and between the children, they used sign.
Okay.
Between the other children, you use sign. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was much different. Home is sign language. It's much different because the children were making up their own signs for
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
Good? Should be good. Good. Oh. There were signs that they had learned it between the children that, you know, this was good and this is supposed to be the way they say good. So she learned how to change when she went to high school. They taught her how to do sign language. She had to reorient what she was saying.
Okay.
She learned so much from Philip because Philip had learned signing. His parents had 3 deaf boys. Phil was the oldest of the 3 boys in his family. He was the oldest, and so they learned sign and spoke sign with them.
Okay.
Yes, and so his mother and father taught him how to sign at home. They used lip. Just home language. They call it home language because,
Okay.
okay, it's just like you and I talk home language here. Because you know my signs and nobody else does. No, you wouldn't teach me home language. Okay. Okay. You didn't know how to say it when she was little because she made up her own signs with the
Okay.
children. Okay.
So.
But
she
in
just-
school, did they do anything special for deaf children?
Or were you just expected to learn like everyone else was?
She didn't have that comparison.
Well, yeah.
She couldn't tell you.
That's true. That's true.
You wrote on the board. You learned how to write, and you played games, and you learned the rules. I'm trying to think what other things they would have. Did they like draw pictures of something so you would understand what they were talking about? They'd have pictures. Okay. They had a lot of pictures. Well, I think it's a little different. I think they have more pictures so that you would understand what they were saying. So they'd show you a picture of a house and they'd say house. So that they would catch how to
Okay.
make them Yeah, she didn't think it was special because she was deaf and with all other deaf children. So
Okay.
it wasn't special
That's
for her. She didn't have anything to compare it to. Well, you didn't have anything to compare it to. You never saw anything else. Yeah.
So then, were they expected to learn how to like speak, just like normally then?
Were you supposed to speak with sound? You speak
To like the teachers?
to the teachers? To the teachers? Did you talk? You don't know if you did or not?
Or like write?
Yeah, they were lip reading back and forth, so she would move her lips, but she didn't know she would say anything.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Well, the other thing is, you say accommodations. Now, when you say, like they have a doorbell that lights up,
Mm-hmm.
because they can't hear it.
Yeah.
They have the video phone that you can see back and forth. So because they, they can't hear it, and they can see each other signing back and forth.
Yeah.
It's like Facebook. But you're talking about accommodations, and now we have more accommodations, like the doorbell, lights. You can't hear it, but there's more. TTY was the first version of a telephone. It was a typewriter hooked up to the telephone. Now they don't. That's obsolete now. That's an antique now. Now it's now an antique, and now she uses the. It's much better. She says she loves her video phone, but there are other things. Well, just simple things like the garbage disposal. She doesn't know it's on because she can't hear it.
Yeah.
So they have a light built into their house when she turns the garbage disposal on. There's a light goes on, so you know that it's running because you can't hear it. Little things like that they use throughout the house. That if it's built for a person who's deaf, like the lights for the doorbell, she has one in every room.
Yeah.
So wherever she is, she knows if
someone's at the door. Yeah.
But several in different rooms, just like the telephone. When it rings, it was a light that went off.
Yeah.
And a light in every room. That's right. Not in the bathroom. Not in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But the other thing was when, like, for a timer, for your work cooking, you never left the kitchen. You would never walk away from the kitchen when you were cooking, because she always stayed in the kitchen so she wouldn't burn anything.
Yeah. Because
she couldn't hear,
the thing going off.
Yeah, of anything going off, and she was, or a timer especially, she didn't have it on her. The timer on the stove. I depend on the timer. Yes, I do, because I can hear it, but you don't hear it, so you stay there in the kitchen. She often told me she never left her kitchen when she was cooking.
Yeah.
She had a very good reason why, but she accommodated herself to her own disability.
Exactly.
Yes, sometimes she can feel.
Like a vibration.
Yes, she feels a vibration. She feels me walking down the hall upstairs. She says I have a heavy gait. Oh, Jenny's coming. Yes, I guess I do. I don't think I do. So now when I come down the hall, I try to tip.
Yeah. That's funny.
No.
So what was it like working in an environment where everyone else was able to speak and
very hard? But you had a nice boss who worked with her, who worked with you to help you. Very good boss. Got promoted very fast because of a nice boss.
Gotcha. Did the boss sign with her at all, or?
Boss sign with you? Write everything down? Oh, lip read a lot, but wrote specific directions down what he wanted her to do.
Okay.
So you kept books. Your job was to keep books. What did you do? Bills. She kept track of the bills and money, and she was a clerk. A clerk. Oh, you were head clerk. She was head clerk.
Okay.
How many people under you? 12 people, 12 or 15 people were under her.
Okay. And where did you say she worked at again?
Name of company. New York Now it's called Conrail.
Okay.
New York Central. Then it changed to Conrail. Conrail. That's the last one. She worked there for 34 years. 34 years.
Okay.
She's old, can you tell?
No, I can't. Nope, can't tell.
Oh,
What were your hobbies?
yeah. Travel. She loved to travel.
Travel,
Playing
golf.
bowling. Well, when she was in school, she played basketball
Okay.
and fencing.
Oh wow.
She played a blind basketball team, the deaf, and she thought, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. And the blind kids beat them.
Oh wow.
It was only 2 or 3 difference in the points, but they still
Oh,
beat them.
okay.
The blind were happy. You were very surprised they didn't win the game. They had big head. They thought they were going to win, but they did not win. That was in high school, right? And after high school, you bowled, and you golfed, and you traveled. Okay,
Where all did you travel to?
where did you travel? All over the country, all over the world, on ships, cruise ships. Every 2 years? Every 2 years or so, they take a big trip. She never really thought about it, but it turned out to be every 2 years. She can take you upstairs and show you pictures on her wall, places she's got.
Okay. We can do that.
Your room. Show them pictures. Not now, later.
We'll do that at the end.
Favorite trip? South Africa. She loves South Africa. Kenya? Kenya? In South Africa itself, the country South Africa. They took a safari. T H A I Thailand. She loved Thailand.
Thailand. Okay.
Those two, South Africa and Thailand. Do you want a safari? Yes.
Yeah.
They stayed in the trees. You rode an elephant? On an elephant? Trained elephant. Yes, I'm sure it was trained, not a wild one. No, not wild. You stayed in a tree top hotel up in the trees with a glass floor. You could look down and see the lions and the tigers and everybody, all the animals going around in the lions going around down below, and monkeys all over the place, and they were in the trees above them. Oh, and they would knock on the glass, but they actually had a glass floor, and they were all the rooms were in the trees.
Oh wow.
And that sound neat?
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yes. She has lots of souvenirs. Yeah, lots of really neat souvenirs. She wants to show you all that when you go upstairs.
Okay.
She has a lion's tooth and a giraffe's tail. The tail of the giraffe. She has some interesting things. And pictures, lots of pictures. Gobs of pictures downstairs too. Why do you like Thailand the most? people. People really nice. What do they have all over? R-A-T. Rats? Rats? You like the rats? Mice? Rats? You didn't think anything of it? They're all over the place? They were very poor, yes. But they have beautiful shrines and beautiful rubies and sapphires, beautiful gems, stones all over the place, embedded in the different architecture and the different. Oh, even in the rock, they just hammer it out and they were that.
Wow.
Many jewels over there. Different color, beautiful stones, ruby, sapphire, amethyst. No diamonds. No diamonds. That's in South Africa. Diamonds are in South Africa. They mined them in South Africa, yes. Oh, you got pearls in Japan. She got some beautiful pearls in Japan. Oh, really? Very small. They gave her an oyster and she found a pearl, a very small pearl in there. And they collect them all and they go through and get the pearls. Were you at the Great Wall? In China? You never did that? Oh, Red China. They wouldn't allow you in. At that time we were not in good terms with China. So you didn't go to China. You went to Japan. Did you go to Australia? New Zealand? Yeah? Oh, Fiji. That's a little island in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
Oh, they went on a cruise when they did those things. And they'd stay several days there. It was a long time ago. It brings back memories when we talk about it. Brings back memories when we talk about it.
Yeah.
She likes doing that. Those were the good days.
Yeah.
Good days. Yes. That's right, days. Yeah, I learn more and more. I keep forgetting that she teaches me more and more every day.
Yeah.
See you. Days. I know it, but didn't use it.
Was there anything else we talked about earlier that would be?
Yes, it is. When you live together with a person who is deaf every day, you learn. It's like being immersed into Spanish. You have to learn it in order to live.
Yeah.
In order to make yourself. That's the way it is with us. But I'm very lucky that she can read my lips.
Yeah.
Because it makes it much easier on me. Makes it easier on me because you read my lips. Because you spell from your slow. Each letter. I know. When she and her friends talk, they go so fast. Yeah, I remember as a little girl, when I was a little girl, every time I saw you and Philip talking to each other, I thought you were arguing. I always thought they always argue, always mad at each other because. And I thought, no, that's the way they're. It took me a long time time to know that you were just talking. I thought you were fighting. When you go to the doctor, yeah, visit Philip in the hospital. Told her not to fight with her husband because he had a heart condition, and she was just talking to him.
Oh.
I did when I was a little girl. I thought you were arguing all the time. So the doctors thought you were arguing. The doctors thought you were arguing with Philip. Poor man. They also have signs for each other. This is Philip. This is DeFalco, and Philip is on her heart. So that's
okay.
Philip's sign. The D on her heart. That means Philip. I say you have different signs for different people. So this is Nancy, and this is Carol, my sisters, and this is Virginia. That's me.
Okay.
And this is Philip. That's you. Helen is this. But it's just between us. You know, it's
Okay.
not a universal
Yeah.
sign. Yeah, but I said it's just between family. It's not universal. It's not, everybody does not know that this means Virginia. Just you and me and family. Right? Yes. Or friends. Yes. In your circle of friends, you'll have different signs for different people rather than spell it all out or point or whatever. Okay, you want to go upstairs and show them the pictures? Okay.